Before we get on to the main part of the video, I was asked if I could provide some close-up photographs of the headstock of the Archtop guitar that I used on my last video, and so they're coming up in a second. I'll flash them on screen. You can obviously pause them, have a look and do what you like. I think I've got some of the front and the back of the headstock, also other what I thought might be interesting parts of the guitar. The whole photograph is going to last for about 5 to 10 seconds, and then the main video is going to start. So there we go. See you in a bit. Morning, afternoon, evening, good night. Tone plastic. More plastic. More plastic. From Robboland's Vids. How you doing? Rob Wheatley here, Robboland's Vids. Welcome back to Disgracelands, and thank you everyone for all the kind comments and the kind words and everything from the video yesterday, where I did a brief demo on this old Archtop guitar when I played a bit of animal sounding slide guitar, and it has some interesting comments. A lot of people were saying about the viol sound I had on it, in a nice way. They were saying what a nice viol sound, and what was I using in terms of microphones and stuff to get it. So I said I'd show you, and so that's what I'm going to do today. Just as a brief interlude, this thing is a really cheap and cheerful travel guitar. It was by a company called Lindo, who just designed and imported guitars from China. And I've got a couple of their travel guitars here. This one is the bigger version with the round plastic back, because I like my plastic guitars, and I dropped the whole thing down by 2 notes, so that's tuned to a D, and all the other strings accordingly. Yeah, exactly. If you put a cap on it there, that'd be normal guitar tuning, but I don't. And this is the other one I've got. This is the other Lindo travel guitar I've got, and they don't make them anymore. They were a company that sold tons of these on eBay. This one is sort of based on the Martin Packbacker, except I looked and it's about 5mm bigger or smaller in every dimension, so as to not conflict with probably any licensing problems with that. But interesting little guitars, good for a laugh. Anyway, that's not what I'm talking about today. Yeah, all tone plastic. Anyway, just put that one back where it lives, and I'll tell you what I did to get that evil sound I got on yesterday's video. And again, thank you to everyone that commented and all the thumbs up and all the views and all that. It's really hugely appreciated. I almost didn't put that video on because I thought the sound was probably going to really grate with a lot of people, and they were going to have people with blood coming out their ears and teeth falling out and spectacles shattering and all this, but most people seem to like it. So thank you very much, and complimenting me on my slide playing, which thank you. I know I have an awful long way to go before I consider myself to be anything like a decent slide player. At the moment I'm doing that and hoping for the best, you know. But it's a good place to start, and a couple of people said it's inspired them to pick up and mess with slides and whatever, so fantastic, that's always good news. One person did say, I think it's Bruce actually said, what would that guitar have sounded like on the Archtop video if I'd rolled the tone down a bit, the treble, and I agree with him, it would have sounded a damn sight better, definitely. It was a bit grating and a bit bitey. I was working with what I had at the time. I didn't go through my door or anything like that. I just went direct and with a bit of fuzzy, nasty, gritty stuff from another thing. If I do another thing on that guitar at some point, I'll probably put it through my recording studio software and EQ it a little bit better so it's not quite so bitey. But that was sort of the point of it. Is you know, you listen to a lot of these really old blues albums. I mean, the things recorded in sort of the 30s, 40s, and this, where someone was just, you know, walked around with a grotty little tape recorder and recorded someone in a bar, and you could smell the bourbon and feel the smoke going down your throat. And generally, the tone of the guitars is very scratchy and very trebly and midi, and there's no real bottom end. And it was sort of a tribute to that sort of thing, is what I was trying to go for. So, without further ado, in fact, with further ado, I think that's probably the way to do it. I'll show you what microphones I was using, and any sound engineers out there and any people that are into their really high fidelity sound, you may want to turn away now and cry for the next 5 minutes. And to be honest, I don't bloody well blame you, because you ain't gonna like this. But I was going for that authentic old bluesy sound and just having some fun, really. The two microphones I used, I said one was a tie clip microphone, and it was one of these things, you know, one of these little things you get from the electrical shop. That there's your clip that you clip it on your, anyone wears a tie or something like that, you know, you clip it on there and you don't clip it on there and you talk away into it and whatever else. Sometimes they have a pop filter on, but that's all it is. It's a tiny little condenser mic, yeah, with a clip on it. And this one actually has a, you know, an earplug on it as well, whatever. And obviously not designed for picking up guitars at close range or anything like that, but that's sort of why I used it, to get that horrible, scratchy, authentic sort of sound. So that's all this was. And you can pick these up for over here, you know, English, British pounds, British quid, 2, 3, 4 quid, so 3, 4, 5 American dollars, something like that. You know, they're real bargain basement stuff. Any sort of electrical shop, mappings, whatever, probably have these, you know, sell them by the hundredweight. So that's all that was. And what I did with this one was I actually just jammed it into the F hole of the guitar, and because the F hole is sort of that shape, am I allowed to do that? You sort of wedge it until it sticks without pointing into the guitar, and that's how I left it. I crammed this in the F hole nearest the treble strings. I'm sure if I crammed it into the F hole nearest the bass strings, it would have got a different sound, but again. And this microphone basically went straight into the back of my EMU 0202 USB, which is just my external sound card, and directly monitored via the low impedance channel. Okay, and that came out of the left-hand channel. Okay, so that was one of the microphones. The other microphone, I don't know what it is. We're going to find out, because I'm going to cut it open. This is going to be a laugh. Am I getting a reputation for cutting my guitars open just for the hell of the YouTube community? I don't know. Why not, eh? I must say, actually, in the past I've done something similar. A lot of you will probably recognise this sort of microphone. Sort of thing you get when you buy a computer, yeah? A little thingy on it. In the past, I've recorded guitars, just, again, for that really authentic tone. I've just blue tacked this on the front of a guitar. Somewhere there or somewhere there, and I just blue tacked it on the front. And sometimes combine that signal with the internal piezo preamp signal, whatever. Sometimes not. I think I've even done it on a stay there. I'll show you. You're going to like this one. Something like this. You know, the old Epiphone Casino. Yep. I bought this from a charity shop, like a thrift shop, for £5, about $8, and someone had put a pickup on it, changed the bridge, changed everything, ripped a massive great hole in the back. But actually, this is a Japanese made Matsumoto. It's exactly the same as the Epiphone Casinos of that period. I think 79, 80, something like that. I'm not sure. 71, 72. I can't remember. I looked it up. But if you look at all the detailing, all the binding, all the inlays, absolutely everything, it is an Epiphone Casino. At some point I've got a couple of other pickups that will go on this. I'm sure that in the past I've done a recording with this and literally just bunged this on the front, blue tacked it on there, and just got this really scratchy, awful sort of, you know, sort of sound. Anyway, that's another story and another guitar for another day. So, would I use these for live work? No, not really, but it depends what you're doing. I mean, if you know, they feedback like hell, but for recording and for messing about, for having a bit of fun and for something a little bit different, you know, does it replace your you know, $300 Fishman active pickup with your gooseneck? No, of course it doesn't. Don't be silly. It's not meant to. All right, it's just something different. Say for that sort of authentic, scratchy old blues thing, but. Mess about with things like this. We all have a few of these lying around in our home, you know? Mess about with them. Now, the other pickup I use, which is the one I think that people are more interested in, was this thing, which you couldn't see because I had it taped onto the front of the guitar. I just got some masking tape, or would you call it painter's tape out there in America here? Masking tape, the stuff that doesn't mark your guitar anyway. And I just taped this on the front of the guitar. What I originally built this for, basically it's just at that with a jack socket on the end. There's an old guitar lead that I cut up, and you can see I didn't solder it, I just basically taped the wires together with sticky tape and a bit of spit and a bit of hope. And this is Velcro, a couple of bits of Velcro with the microphone or the pickup or the piezo pickup, whatever it was I used, inside there. Now originally I built this for a stomping boot, and I'll put a link to a video of some guy that did this stomping boot idea that I got my idea from. I nicked it off him, and I built this thing. And basically I taped it to the bottom of a shoe, plugged this into my amp or via my old Boss PS2 pitch shifter delay, which is quite entertaining, because then you can, and you basically, as you stomp your foot, this goes on the bottom of your shoe, and it's like one of these little wooden stomp box things, but without having to carry all that around. You just tape it to your shoe, and it's quite fun, I guess, if you do a gig and you just plug your leg into an amplifier. It's quite entertaining. But that's what this is. It's some sort of pickup in there, microphone or pickup or something, or piezo pickup. I don't know yet. I can't remember because I did this a few years ago. We're going to cut it open in a second. We're going to have a look and find out. Okay. And it's wedged between a couple of bits of Velcro to give it some padding, so it just doesn't explode and go when you belt on it. And that's it. If you're going to make one of these for a stomping boot, I wouldn't use sellotape as such, because you hear it that, and what you have is like boom, 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 like that. But anyway, we're going to find out what this is. I seem to remember that I smashed up an old telephone. Probably, you know, these cold callers that phone you up, these marketing people that phone you up at home and ask if you want to buy double glazing or insurance or what the fuck, and you just get so sick of it. I used to get through quite a few telephones because I just get annoyed and just smash the crap out of the thing, and end up with bits of telephone all over my old house. And amongst those bits, if you have a good look, you'll probably find the little microphone that comes out the receiver, which is what I think is inside here. I think that's what's inside here. We're going to cut it open and have a look. So let's have a look. But any transducer will do, I'm sure. Oh look, there we go. That's what it is. Can you see that? I think that's from a telephone. See that? Just a little diaphragm mic thing, probably from a telephone. I think it might have been for some headphones, some cheap headphones, something like that. Actually, hang on a sec, quick edit. Hello, I'm back. Yeah, so something like this Piezo Transducer, one of these things. And this is the grand price of £1.29. So again, that'd be about $2.50, $2. One of these things. And again, as long as you pad it out, put some padding on it. Velcro is good. One of these things would do fine. Little piezo transducer. One of these things. They probably, I have no idea what they cost. I've got a whole bunch of these things lying around from, I don't know where they came from. But again, 2 wires. Attach them to your jack socket. Wrap them in Velcro for a bit of padding. And then, there you go. Stick your Velcro back on top like that. Yep, and then wrap it all up with some tape. That's what I did. Then just tape it with some masking tape onto the front of your guitar so it's got a good tight, so it's actually, you know, touching the top of your guitar, it's nice and tight on there, and you're good to go. That's how I did it. That was the pickup that went direct through the speakers, monitoring the speakers through the other channel of my EMU sound card, and also that's the same channel that I fed into Amplion, which is a guitar cab simulator, and then ran that through the Orange Extreme, which is that some Mesa Boogie type thing? I don't really know that, but or is it an Orange amp? I don't know, but it's some real gritty, grindy, heavy metal-y type styly amp setting. Really not my sort of thing, which is why I did it. So that's what I did. That's how it was done. Have fun, experiment, rip old headphones apart, rip old earplugs apart, rip telephone receivers apart, anything you can find with a diaphragm mic or a piezo transducer or anything like that. Wrap it in something that's going to pad it a little bit, and then stomp on the bugger. Good to go. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.